You have reached Colorado Crisis Services. Para Español, presione dos. Press 1 now to be connected to our crisis line to speak with a crisis specialist clinician, or simply remain on the line. You may also press star to choose to speak with the crisis support line and talk to a peer specialist for peer-to-peer crisis support. If you've received a voicemail from our follow-up team and are returning a call to them, please press 3 now to be connected to our follow-up team. Please note, calls are monitored or recorded for quality assurance. Thank you.
For myself? Hector? Say your number on the caller ID. No. No. Well, I don't use any drugs or anything, and I've called y'all probably at least 3,000 or 4,000 times. I call y'all daily, and recently, a couple hours ago, lost my job working at Holiday Inn Express, and the person was making very vulgar threats about my mother, and pretty profound detail, and I know exactly what she was doing and saying, and I had to leave the job assignment because she wouldn't shut up about, the authority and control they had to seem over the relationship I have between my mother and me as her son. And my mother has dementia. My mother doesn't want a transgender that is white to all of a sudden just start claiming authority in great detail like she has the power of attorney or some shit. My mother has mental problems, a first grade education, and this is one of the reasons I'm not able to call her or communicate with her at all very well in any kind of form. Now I don't know who's sending these people. There was a police officer that was parked that was framing me just a few hours before. Then she begins to make other threats about, when I'm working there, about what's going to happen and what she's already threatening me about in the future because she's planning on targeting me and setting me up. And this is what they're doing as I completely try to act like nothing is happening. I'm just there for the job assignment. And this is consistently what they're doing. I'm at the bus stop right now waiting, and all these LGBT community members are in a car in a rally just looking, yeah, let's go after him, yeah, don't worry, he's almost dead, don't worry, yeah, to suffer. Like, every one of these cars look back at me and know exactly who I am. And it's nothing of paranoia, it's nothing of schizophrenia, there's nothing to do with this. If somebody began telling you all details about your mother or father that was sick, and they have no idea what that relationship is and her past and the things that are going on, what business do they have saying anything about any of this? But someone is giving them permission. It's the police, the threatening of the police behavior that they're doing. That's their personal fucking servants. Ken and Sarah Cooper had nothing to do. My mother was the one that was telling me all this information growing up and all the details that was going on. And they're trying to make them look like fucking heroes. And now that they're just getting old, well, they're going to wait for those bastards to fucking die and then something else happens to me? They stalk me on the buses. They know what bus I'm going to take. They know I'm waiting to go to the shelter. And then this lady plays real stupid, just like she is right now. And they all target me. Every single person. Every time I get on the bus, they get notified. Hector's getting on the bus. He's on this bus right now. Okay, now get on the bus. And they just do this consistently, talking about my dead sister as well. You know, they use their Christianity belief systems. It has nothing to do about anything about any church. It's just you do what I tell you to do. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen to you. I call a crisis line and y'all threaten me numbers of fucking times. I don't know who's rerouting my phone calls. This is very terrifying. I got a job to go to at a ski resort in a couple of weeks, and I know it's going to follow me when I get there. My mother has all this financial money and some parasitical transgender piece of shit that has an animosity toward me that doesn't know anything. It's a feeding of emotional anger that they don't understand at all. I spoke to my uncle and I told him, and I said, look, these people are threatening me, and they're going into the coffee shops, they're going into the shelter, they're doing consistently all the fucking time. And like I said, my mother had her eyes very sort of teary and red a couple of years ago when she could notice how many terrorizing people they were. Why isn't anybody going after this parasitical piece of shit? I'm just there to, I have to tell her in fucking words. I said, I'm just here to learn my new job and work. I'm not here for you to tell me about my mother and start threatening me about my mother. And this is what this person is doing.
That's understandable.
Why is a corrupted police officer sitting outside saying, do whatever the fuck you want? Because he was standing right outside. I mean, he was in his car just waiting, and that's how they found me. I had a murder attempt that happened to me, and this is exactly why I wasn't calling when I nearly had a stroke, or when I thought was having a stroke all those years ago. This is why I didn't want to call the police whenever I had the murder attempt, because pieces of shit like that. And they're taking me from room to room as I'm cleaning the rooms, and they got about 2 days of work out of me. I'm going to have that money probably stolen from me as well, and they're training me. Because when they know that I'm going to be with some roommate at the ski resort, I'll be working and living in an employee housing. You know, and it's just, this shouldn't be happening. The police officers don't want to do nothing but antagonize the situation to put me in more fear. And that's all they're fucking doing. Every single one of these cars they're just driving by, and it's just consistent in rallies. They're all in us like, yo, that's the enemy. I'm not fucking joking. They're all like fucking guns. You know, it's like, what the fuck? You know, just parasitical motherfuckers. They don't give a shit. They think they're winning the war in the Congo or some shit. Every single one of these cars. Many times all day I'm walking by and they start laughing. They start pretending to be my mother, like as a character or some shit, and then shouting out things. Then sitting Marco next to her, or what it looks like to be Marco, you know, as an impersonator, playing these acting roles and shit. My mother. Okay, well, you know, you can contact my mother, and you can contact Chelsea to speak directly to my mother. This is why I don't want any problems. This is not why I can't do anything about the situation. Because the authorities don't want to do nothing but antagonize me and threaten me. And they go to the shelter and they do the same fucking thing. How Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper and all this other shit. My mother's an immigrant from Mexico. Spanish is her first language, not English. I don't know who's giving these phone calls to whoever it is on the crisis line to antagonize me and threaten me about the situations. That's all they're doing alone, because they know what's going on around me. My mother's eyes get all red and shit when I'm eating dinner with her at her birthday, because she can notice all the chaos behavior that's sitting around her. And Ken Cooper's white blonde-haired fucks that are sitting around this white supremacy. You know, Ken Cooper's and shit. My mother doesn't like any of these motherfuckers and never did. Doesn't understand the magnitude of what they're doing. It did so much to her because she's vulnerable. This doesn't give the right for any of these parasitical motherfuckers to start making decisions. Who the fuck are you? I can't say anything. I have to stay. Okay, so what do you want to do to my mother? What do you want to do with the $100,000 that she has from the house? What do you want to do? I can't even say anything. Just because the police. They're just, I mean, I'm sitting there, if I had a camera right now, you look at the people's expressions as they're driving by. Then they start shooting me with electronic devices to control me. If I call the police to say that these electronic devices are beating the shit out of me, making me shit, violating or hurting my lungs with whatever frequency pulse machine that they're using, they just say I'm crazy, need medication, and that's all they're doing, and they'll approach the situation as I'm only a fucking threat. I've had to call the police dozens of fucking times, and on even one occasion the police officers pulled a gun on me and I was coming out of work at a Social Security office in Plano, Texas. And I'm like, what the fuck? And there's people peeling out in the fucking parking lot. I'm in an empty parking lot. Walking, like, in order to get to where I live off of work. And I'm doing this shit. Because the police officers pulled out his gun and said, look, I was the one calling you for help. You check my bag, I don't have anything, nothing. And this is what they do to terrorists because they want to just like the how they used it against me.
Yeah. And that's very traumatic. Very traumatic.
And why doesn't anybody fucking go and chase this piece of shit down and tell me, shut the fuck up? This person's here to do a job assignment, not to challenge or whatever you want to abuse my mother. She give you authority? Her name is Chelsea. She's supposedly a manager here at the Holiday Inn at Lawrence, Kansas. I worked there today and yesterday. This person is making vague details and making fun of this. And all my situations that I'm working there, she's taunting the fact that my dad's sister. And trying to put her religious beliefs on it because they have nothing left about what they're doing. It's all about fucking abuse and control, nothing else. It's like a suicide mission. They're just planning my death. That's all they're fucking doing. Death and destruction. That's all they're fucking doing. You can see the evil out of this piece of shit. But if I defended myself and I beat the shit out of this transgender, then what the fuck happens? Huh? I choke them off to fucking death the fucking swarm of community fucking gay faggots that are running around all over the place come and attack me.
Hold on. We can continue this call, but only if
this person looks like they wanted to engage. Do you understand that it's very threatening when you are an employee walking into a room? Now, they're planning to do this when I get to the ski resort. And they're following me from state to state when I get on the planes.
Right.
I have to put my hands up and I have to tell this person, stop threatening me about my mother and my life and my personal life. That's what I have to say.
And I want to continue our call, but I want you to also understand the parameters of our call. I can't have you using that type of language, but I do want to continue our call. Are you able to stay within that parameter of our call?
I don't do drugs. I'm not drinking. I don't use drugs, alcohol. I'm not a druggie. I'm perfectly fine. I'm a former cancer patient. And this person is individually in this situation. Practicing my death, going into a room like you're going into a hospice, getting ready to die or some shit, or visiting my mother and playing acting roles. Oh, that didn't sound very professional to me at all. That sounds like, who's giving you the authority to do this? Everything has to evolve around or pester me with these technical things that they're really doing. This has nothing to do about anything other than to terrorize the situation.
Right, and I understand that this will be very traumatic for you. And you have a lot of stress. You said you lost your job.
I think it's a can and sour crumple. It's all run in to justify what they had done to my mother. This is all the family, and just to tell you, as soon as I leave the work assignment, I go to Subway to get something to eat, to leave off the day and say, well, shit, I can't even work because they're doing this to me. Before I walk on Subway, some piece of shit transgender that looks like Kenneth behaving starts making threats at me. and start saying, I'll fuck you up, I'll do this other shit, and I don't know if they'll have a knife on them. And I steal them. But if I go out and picked up a knife and I stabbed the shit out of somebody, I know what's going on. It was just Chelsea, it was just a gay community being faggots. But I don't say one word. I want to tell the person, don't worry about what I'm doing.
Hector, I'm going to redirect you one more time to not use that word or that language, or I'm going to disconnect the call. So
you need to redirect the people that you're sending. You need to redirect the people that you're sending this threat to me. I can't ignore it. You're not going to be abusing my mother and tracking my phone calls. That's what you're doing, and you're transferring to other people to insinuate that I'm breaking control. Sending these people to do this, and you're going to send them up to shoot you like you already have been. I'm not doing anything wrong.
You're using language that's offensive, so I'm not...
You're finding it's offensive that I'm telling you that my mother is being targeted by a total stranger when my mother has dementia and is tracking me down, using electronic devices and listening to great detail about the situation between my mother? You don't feel that as a threatening tool?
I understand.
You don't feel like I'm telling you the police officers are framing this shit that I had a metal attack happen 8-9 years ago? Look at these faggots and they're driving up here and just killing us and glad that this is happening.
End the call. I've redirected a couple of times, and I'm going to go ahead and end the call because you can't stay with me.